comes to cooking outdoors, most people consider cold to be king, and to be honest, it's hard to argue against that. However, there are two very specific types of food, and they also happen to be two of the most popular types of food that can't be cooked on a cold barbecue quite like they can be here on the Charbroil Versa-Tile. Okay, so you might be wondering, why am I wearing this chef's hat? Well, it's because, like the great Michelangelo once said, it is pizza time. And of course, I am not referring to the very famous Italian sculptor who probably also liked pizza. I am referring to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So I know you already know this, but no grilling or barbecue session would be complete without some proper music. And let's say you like to listen to Iron Maiden, maybe. But even if you don't, I believe you'll appreciate this pairing with your food. It's called the Iron Maiden Darkest Red Eddie the Heads blend, and it's good. It's really good, so good in fact that I've had a hangover for roughly 2.5 weeks. And this is from Portugal, and it's a robust red blend from the Douro. The palate delivers a crescendo of blackberry, ripe black cherries and plums layered over a subtle spice and a bold, rich finish. And yes, I did read that directly from the bottle. And they say that this is best enjoyed with the volume turned up, and also, in my opinion, with pizza. Now, the second type of food that I'm going to show you in this video is going to be a surprise, and trust me, the recipe is definitely something worth sticking around for. I've got a feeling you might not have seen anything quite like it. Anyway, now it's time for me to show you what the Charbroil Versa-Tile is all about. So when this first arrived, it was boxed up really nicely, and it took me and a friend, Ant-Man, around an hour to put it together. All the screws and individual pieces are number and letter coded, so it's super simple to follow along with the instructions. The hardest part by far is fitting the gas hose to the grill itself, which thanks to Andrew from the Charbroil team that I met in person, I now have a technique for. If you soak the end of the gas hose in boiling water for around a minute or two, it becomes much more pliable and much easier to fit onto the actual grill itself, and then you can fully secure it much more easily. And also a little bit of WD-40 can help. Anyway, across the front you have two gas dials, one for each side of the grill, and if you look closely at the dial on the right, you'll notice a pizza icon. This is the perfect gas level for the perfect temperature for the perfect pizza. On the left side, you've got what I'm calling the all spark due to the importance of this button. It is powered by a single AA battery, and without this, man cannot create fire. Well, not so easily. You could do it, but it's definitely more tricky. On the right hand side, you've got a few hooks for your utensils. You can of course pick up the official Charbroil stuff like I have here, and it's really premium and well built, so I definitely recommend it. I'll add some links below this video if you want to check out the prices on this. And I think really you will appreciate this stuff the most if you're the type of person who wants everything to match. Underneath the grill, you've got some storage space for your various utensils and ingredients and seasonings and cutlery and your Iron Maiden reserves. There's also a little semicircle cutout on the right side for strapping your gas bottle to the side of the grill when it's not in use. But a very important side note is that the gas bottle should not be placed here right next to the grill. When in use, you should kind of place it as far away from it as possible. So there are 4 wheels on this grill. Smaller wheels with locking mechanisms on one side, so you won't end up chasing your grill down a hill. On the other side, it has 2 off-road type wheels, which definitely help when pushing it over more rugged terrain, like really long grass and things like that. All right, now let me show you why they call this the Versa-Tile. When you lift up the very sturdy hood, behold, the large ceramic coated steel grilling surface. You've got 2 cooking zones here, controlled by those dials, but it's this area on the right hand side that makes this Charbroil grill truly versatile. If you remove this circular tile, you can replace it with a cast iron grill for your more classic grilled meats and veg, and this is perfect for kebabs. Now if you remove that and twist lock on this metal riser, you can actually place a wok or a wide base frying pan directly on here. And lastly, if you want to make pizza, you can place the tile on top of the metal riser. This allows the heat to flow up and around the edges of your pizza, and this also heats up the inside of the grill much more quickly to that perfect pizza temperature. Okay, so now you know how this works, and now it really is pizza time. So I'm definitely not a professional pizza chef, so I did definitely buy some ready-made pizza dough, fresh and ready to go. And of course I bought a bunch of fresh toppings. So here's how I'm going to do this one. First up, tomato base across the top. I'm adding a thin layer of grated mozzarella and then some shredded Parma ham. Now I learned this the hard way. If you put the meat directly on the sauce, all of the other toppings that you put on top of this will literally just slide off as soon as you try to eat it. So that's why I added that layer of cheese first. Now on top of the ham, I'm adding a bit more cheese and some fresh British red chilies. So I'm adding some garlic here as well because I do love garlic bread, but I also think it's not so good to eat double bread, so why not have it all in one? That's my train of thought when it comes to this. And also I threw on some sliced black olives. And just to add a little more saltiness to this pizza without actually adding salt, I'm throwing on some Parmesan on top. And to finish this pizza, I am going to be adding rocket right at the end so that it sinks into the melted cheese but doesn't go all burnt and crispy. Okay, so the second most popular food that can technically be cooked better here than on a coal barbecue is of course burgers, but not just any burgers, smash burgers. The reason they're better here is because if you try to smash a burger onto a coal grill, you'll literally squeeze all of the flavor through the grate and ruin the meat. And I've still got that unique recipe which I need to show you. But first, you should know I got some pro tips on how to make the perfect smash burger from Jack's Meat Shack. He actually runs a school for barbecuing. I'll have a link to that in the description if you do want to take a look. So here's how this goes. I've been told beef with 20% fat is the best for smash burgers, so that's what I got. I personally added some Parmesan into this meat mixture to make those burnt edges that you get on smash burgers a little more tasty. That's my own little touch. You roll up your meatballs as you would and place them on the grill at a high temperature for around 30 to 60 seconds. And then you literally Hulk smash them to the desired thickness, which should ideally be quite thin. I'm going to be adding 2 layers of meat to each burger, so the thinner the better really. First I give them around a minute on each side, then I flip them, add the American cheese and let that sink in for another minute or so. Now you might be wondering why I'm frying these beautiful brown Bertha eggs right here next to the burgers. Well, first of all, to demonstrate the versatility of this grill, but secondly, because I am making a burger recipe that comes from one of my favorite burger restaurants here in the UK, GBK. They call it the Kiwi burger. This normally consists of a thick burger, but I'm going with smash burgers with the American cheese, served on a brioche bun with a fried egg on top, followed by a pineapple ring and some sliced cooked beetroot and some salad leaves of your choosing. And I know this sounds crazy, but trust me, you have to try this. It is surprisingly good. And most importantly, this would be much harder to do on coal. And do you know what? There is something else that's better about this Versa-Tile compared to my coal barbecue. It's a lot easier to clean. You can simply scrape all of the excess fat and debris into this little gap and it falls through to these 2 separate trays that collect everything, and these trays can be easily removed after cooking and easily cleaned. Okay, so here's my thoughts on the Charbroil Versa-Tile. It is, as the name would suggest, incredibly versatile. If you're into pizzas, burgers, kebabs, all 3, well, this is the perfect barbecue for you. And if in the future at some point you want to test out your Japanese teppanyaki skills, you could also do that here as well. So if you are looking for an all-in-one grill that gives you a ton of options, then I could highly recommend the Charbroil Versa-Tile. But if you must simply have coal, well, one of my favorite grills from Charbroil right now is the gas to coal. It is a gas and coal barbecue, and the intro of that video is what I'm calling the Jurassic Park intro, which some say was kind of epic. If you want to check out that video, that thumbnail's on screen right now. And if you enjoyed this one, little thumbs up would be appreciated. And if you just subscribe, I will see you in the next one. Don't be late.